Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily. Welcome to the Weavers. Today we are making one of my kids' favorite things in the entire world, blueberry mini muffins, which my kids call blue muffins. We usually get them in the little Debbie's packs. They can eat through 20 of those. Not 20 packs, but it's 4 packs of 5. They can eat through a box of those in a matter of an hour. So I kind of created this recipe. It was a recipe that I took from this cookbook here, which is How to Cook Everything. It's a recipe that I took from here and kind of made it my own. This recipe is on welcometotheweavers.com, so you can find that there if you want to give this a try, or you can follow along with me right now. So we need flour. I have all-purpose flour here and whole wheat flour. I like to add a little extra nutrition to my kids' stuff. A little bit of sugar. I know, sugar next to whole wheat flour. Yeah. Baking powder, baking soda, which this recipe does not call for baking soda, but I use the baking soda and a little bit of vinegar to give a little more lift and a little more tenderness. A lemon, which we use the zest and the juice of. 1 egg. Some unsalted butter, or some salted butter melted, and then we've got a bag of frozen blueberries. My father-in-law grows blueberries, so I get probably, this one says 2018 because it was in the bottom of my freezer outside. I get probably 4 gallon-sized bags a year of blueberries, and we go through a lot of blueberries. I make these probably once a month. I make them in a big batch, so I'm going to actually double this recipe. So I'm going to need another egg to do that, because I'm going to throw them in the freezer afterwards, so when the kids want them, I can just pull them out the night before, let them thaw. We usually will make these on a Saturday morning, so I literally just have them all weekend long for the kids to snack on or to have for breakfast. My kids are kind of grazers when it comes to food, so they don't really just sit down and eat a meal. I mean, they do if I make them, but they're kind of more graze type kids. So we are gonna get started. Okay, so to start, we are going to we're gonna melt some butter first. So it calls for 3 tablespoons of melted butter per recipe. I am doubling this, so we're gonna do 6 tablespoons of butter. A stick of butter has 8 tablespoons in it. Or if you really wanna be technical, it's a little more than a 1/3 cup. So I'm just going to cut off the 2 tablespoons I don't need. I'll put this over next to my cooking stuff. I always put the little bits of butter that I don't need next to my cooking stuff over on the other side. I've got where I got my salt and everything, where I have my salt and my pepper and my olive oil and the seasonings that I use often. I'm gonna throw this in the microwave for a couple of seconds. Popped that in there for 30 seconds. Now we're gonna start working on our dry ingredients. Dry ingredients refers to anything in this case that is dried. So in this case, we are going to be moving, these are considered wet ingredients. We're gonna move them over here. We're gonna start with our flour. So this calls for 2 cups of flour. If I was going to be doing this recipe, right now I am doubling. If I was going to be doing this recipe, I would be doing 1 cup of regular flour and 1 cup of whole wheat flour. Since I'm doubling this recipe, I'm going to be doing 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 2 cups of whole wheat flour. One, 2. Ooh, sounds like we're popping in here. Woo! We're sparking. I need to clean my microwave. Okay. Move that up over here. I just stepped on a toy. Does anybody else also have children that leave Legos literally everywhere? I feel like I constantly pick them up and they're still all over the place. Alright, now we are going to add 2 cups of whole wheat flour. My hands are greasy from the butter. Alright, got 1. Obviously, you do not have to use whole wheat flour, but I do. You can use just another cup of all-purpose flour if if you don't want to use whole wheat flour or if you don't have whole wheat flour. Okay, so put those in there. Next, we are going to be adding in our leavening agents, which is the baking powder and the baking soda. We are going to need 6 teaspoons of baking powder, which I'm sure I could do the math and figure out how many tablespoons that is, but I don't really want to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I am going to add, this is not in the recipe, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I am always covered in flour. That is one thing about baking. I could probably wear an apron, but it's already too late, guys. We already have flour on us. All right, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And with the baking soda, I like to put it through a sieve, mostly because of a really bad experience I had when I was a kid, and I put baking soda. I was making banana bread, so I'm putting it through a sieve. I was making banana bread for a church, like men's group thing with my mom, and it was for like 60 people. And so I was making several loaves of banana bread, and I wasn't realizing that every time I was adding this scoopful of baking soda, it was clumping together and making a just globs of baking soda in this banana bread. So when you cut into it, you just saw chunks of baking soda in the banana bread. Yeah, it was bad. So ever since then, I have always put my baking soda through a sieve to make sure we don't have any clumps. Okay, next we are going to add, this is a 1/4 cup of sugar. We're gonna add that to dry ingredients. Grab my 1/4 cup here. Yep, I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of sugar. 1, 2, give this a whisk. Okay, so now we are going to add the lemon zest. So I'm going to zest this lemon. Oh, I love the smell of fresh lemon. And lemon and blueberries is such a classic combination. I've done a lemon blueberry cake before that is really good. It's like a breakfast cake. All right. So usually you guys see my kids in here with me, but everybody is napping right now. Thank the Lord. Anyway, okay, back to this. So now we are going to add, so it calls for salt. I'm not going to add salt because it is already in it's already in the butter. So I'm gonna let this cool a little more and then we'll get that mixed together. Okay, so now we are going to add we're gonna move you over just a little bit. There we go. All right, now we are going to add the wet ingredients into this. Yes, you could mix them in a separate bowl and all that jazz, but I do a lot of dishes and I'm okay with it. So I'm gonna dump in my butter. Oh, I forgot to turn on my oven. Hang on. Preheat to 375. Okay. All right, so we had our 6 tablespoons of melted butter. You do not have to use butter. You could obviously make this dairy-free. I am using oat milk, but I also crack my eggs in a separate bowl and then dump them in. That is for my children because my children love to crack eggs, but they tend to make quite a mess. So, and they want to be like mommy and all that, and then they put the shells in if they're not paying attention. So we got that. Now we have a little trash bowl. Set there. Okay, so we are going to add in the lemon juice. I'm just gonna give it a little roll to get everything going. Grab a knife. Grab my little lemon juicer. Got this from my grandma from Home Goods, I think, from many, many, many Christmases ago. But you just put it on. Juice it down. I don't have one of those cool like electric juicers or anything like that. Just gonna give a little squeeze because we already took the zests off. And what I like about this is that it catches all of the pits and the seeds at the top. So it catches it inside it So you've got lemon juice without pulp or anything like that. Okay, so this is about a tablespoon or so of lemon juice. It was a little lemon. Okay, so we are going to add that in. Next, we are going to add in our milk. You need 1 cup of milk, so I'm going to add in 2 cups of milk. This is oat milk. You could use regular milk. You could use coconut milk, almond milk. What is the other one? Rice milk, if you want to. We drink regular milk in this house, and we also drink oat milk. My youngest child is allergic to dairy, and so we have oat milk in our fridge, but my older children are not allergic to dairy, and neither is my husband, but I am. So they drink regular milk. So you add a whisk. Get this mixed together here. That looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now we are going to add in our blueberries. And to do that, I'm going to grab a sip bowl here. Now I understand why food people use glass bowls all the time. Okay, so now I'm going to add in 2 cups of frozen blueberries. 1, 2. I'm also going to toss this with a little bit of flour, probably about 2 tablespoons. And the reason I'm doing that is because this keeps them inside and like dispersed through the muffins instead of sinking to the bottom. You could do this with raspberries, you could do this with strawberries, you can also do this with fresh blueberries. I just have frozen ones right now. It is blueberry season, so I probably could get some fresh ones, especially from like our local produce stand that we have. So, ooh, this is that's a little thick now that it's been sitting. I'm gonna add in a little bit more milk. Kind of want it to be similar to like pancake batter level. There we go. That's more like it. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to my spatula here. Sink this. Okay, so now I'm going to dump all this into here, and then I'm not going to stir it, I'm going to fold it. So scrape from the bottom, flip over the top. Scrape from the bottom, flip over to the top. So that way we're not breaking up the blueberries at all, just keeping it nice and folded, and the blueberries stay whole. If you've ever folded egg whites into something, similar procedure. All right, and it makes it so we make sure we get all the flour off the bottom and the sides. All right, great. Ooh, it smells so good. Okay. Ooh, you taste that lemon in there? Fantastic. All right, so I'm gonna grab my baby muffin pans here. You can obviously use regular size muffin pans or muffin tins with liners. I don't have liners. These are just non-stick baby cupcake pans. I'm just gonna go through and spray them so they come out nice and easily. Okay, now I'm gonna use my spring-loaded scoop. You could use a measuring spoon if you wanted to, or a regular spoon. I'm just gonna go through and scoop and fill each one of these. these for, oh, I forgot to tell you, make them like 2/3 full. We're gonna bake these at 375 for about 8 to 10 minutes until they kind of puff up and get a little golden on the top. Oh, before we do that, we are going to take the sugar, and I'm gonna take this here. I'm gonna put a little sugar. I'm just gonna do a little dust of sugar, and it gives a little like crystallized top. Oop, I'm out. Let's do this. I could sprinkle it with my fingers, obviously. You could use a spoon if you wanted to. But I like using the sieve because I feel like it gets it evenly on each one. You want just a little sprinkle of sugar on each one of them. All right, so that is done. These are gonna go into the oven. Turn the oven light on here. You guys see in there? They're puffing up nicely. They're gonna have cute little muffin tops. A couple more minutes. All right, these beauties are done. Nice and golden on the top. My oven mitt on here. Pull them out. So because of that whole wheat flour, it is gonna have a little bit of a darker color to it, which is okay. They taste the same. Let these cool, and we'll bag them up.
I just ate a muffin.
Okay, so we pulled these out of the oven. They were back in there for about 12 minutes. And because of that non-stick spray, they just pop right out. And I love that the little crack on top from the sugar. And you break it open, and you got all those beautiful blueberries. I'm gonna give half to AJ. Oh, AJ, come on.
I just want one in a bowl.
Can you just try this one first, please? Good? Good. After these cool, I'm going to throw them in a Ziploc bag. They're going to go in the freezer. They can freeze for up to a month or so before they start to taste a little weird. AJ, she likes everything to be the way she wants it to be, and she wants a whole one.
Are we going to take them out overnight?
When you're ready to eat them, you can either pop them in, pop the ones you want in the microwave, or you can pull them out and let them thaw overnight, and then they'll be just as good as the day you made them. If you like more recipes like this, hit that like button, subscribe down below, and we'll see you next week. Bye.